All right, peace, everyone. Peace, peace, peace. SW Eric Smith, flying phrase from the Providence Plantations. Wise you, Motherland Gardens. Yeah, I've been, it's the Jam E Jam. I've been checking out a lot of the, I've been, you know, as much as I don't know if that's the correct terminology, but I was researching a couple of things today. I was researching, uh, you know, the whole Vlad situation. I didn't know what was going on with it. I still really don't. I'm starting to get a little more gist to it, and a couple of other little stories that I saw. That's a pretty crazy situation. And then right before I came on, uh, I saw that they having some protest issues out there again. I figured we probably wait till a few more people from the with it our Miss crew get in here. We gotta do the each one teach one and hit the like button and share this on your Facebook and your Twitters. And then we can get into the topic, understanding Bill, showing improving versus trying to justify it. Some of the differences, in some places where some people might get confused about it. And, we're going to use the lessons to draw that up, have a little walk and talk session. Make the lessons walk and talk, of course. The rest of the people, let's see. Uh, see if I catch up to the. Yeah, but I'm still trying to find out what did he misquote the. What did he misquote the minister about? Like I'm saying, uh, I just, but I mean, at the end of the day, uh, I haven't watched Vlad. I never really, was watch Vlad. You know what I'm saying? Before the whole flat Earth thing, I would watch the episodes where Lord Jamal was on there, or every blue moon they might have somebody. But I would say I saw maybe 20 episodes of Vlad in total. You know what I'm saying? I can't even recall what was the exact moment that I said, Vlad is not for me. Like it wasn't it was like at the scene of the number of times I just saw what it was about. You know what I'm saying? Where it's just a platform, to kind of expose all the worst parts. You know what I'm saying? You know, uh, you know, it shows the worst part. I'm saying? With all your uncivilized behavior, you go say that on the worst part. You know what I'm saying? But see, what you find out is once you say it on that worst part, you can't preserve nothing for yourself now because you said it now on, you know, intergalactic media. You got Knowledge came in, Universal 7, first member of the 7 gang. Yeah, that's what I'm just now getting into. What's the different things? Because I don't think I've researched far enough in it because what I see a lot of people saying is that Lord Jamar is boycotting it, but so far what I saw, Lord Jamar was saying something. They were saying that uh, in order for Farrakhan to get his apology, he has to come sit down with Vlad face to face. Like, dude, we wasn't face to face when you disrespecting me. Why we got to be face to face now? Like, what? Hold on. You did something that was totally wrong, and now I got to do something. I got to do something to get an apology for something that you did wrong without me being in the same state as you. I'm not even in the same state in the United States of America as you, not state of mind. I'm not in the same physical state as you, but I gotta come to where you at to sit down with you to see. Like, I got a strange, it was the same thing with that reparations thing. Where you want to put it in the form of education. Nah, Scrams, we already did the work. Why we got to do more work? Why we got to go to school to get it? Well, if you give it to them, they just want to spend it. Yeah, well, it's my money to spend. Just like whatever money you make at whatever your job is, you got paid for the work you did. You spend it how you want to spend it. If you want to invest it, you invest it. If you want to buy a jury with it, you buy a jury with it. If you want to buy, new cameras with it, you buy new cameras with it. That's what but it's your money to spend. So that part I didn't, and then I saw something where uh, Royce, the 5'9", went in on him, and then I saw something where Royce and my son, kind of going, back and forth on what was right about it. But then I'm also seeing on the what's the names that my son is supposed to be boycotted. So I haven't gotten through it yet. Yeah, we got Universal 7. Wait, you the first person. Oh, yeah, you the first person from the 7 gang here. But yeah, we was going, but that topic right there with the 2 cops getting shot, I figured that was going to be, I was going to save that topic into the end because, when we get into that, uh, we probably going to be on that topic for a while, especially depending, if all of the business and real hip hop and, a couple other brothers, if they come in, that topic is going to take over. So I was going to save the signs for Breonna Taylor. I was going to save that too after we dealt with the topic, understanding Bill, showing and proving versus trying to justify it. All right, the bar came in. Where's the link, Jammy Jam? As Allah said, what is boycotting VladTV going to really do for us as a nation? That's really unimportant. You give people money to go on there. Don't you understand that money? I mean, you know, uh, I don't think in terms of the boycott is really, like you said, in that particular situation, because we're not talking about life and death. You know what I mean? It's not the same as what's going. And that's kind of why I brought that up first. While we just waiting for people to come in the room. You see what I mean? Because this is not a life and death thing. You know what I mean? It's not like what's going on in the street right now. Breonna Taylor lost her life. You know what I'm saying? Whether she was involved with this ring or, whatever. That's really, she lost her life. At the hands of the people that's supposed to be saving lives. So, that's a whole other issue. But I do think what is important about it, right, is for people to start seeing it, and start being able to recognize, Motherland God is saying, culture vulture, start to recognize people that's exploiting them and, come to a point where they understand what, friendship is kind of a funny word, you know what I mean? Because, friend, it breaks down to fry you in the end. You know what I'm saying? But to kind of learn who their friends are and who their friends are not. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the reality of the situation is that you have brothers going on there now for how many ever years brothers have been going on there, and they going on there on the strength that they think Vlad is their friend. You know what I mean? Vlad is helping them to promote their projects. Vlad is, helping them to promote their images and their brands, et cetera, et cetera. You know what I'm saying? And so, even though, his show is not, it's not life and death, like I said, but at the same time, the same things, the same strategies that he's employing to be able to make people cooperate with him and make people think that he's their friend is the same strategies that's used by corporate America. It's the same strategies that's used by political the political realm, you know what I mean, in terms of making you believe that they're your friends when in reality, they bloodsucking. You know what I'm saying? That was one thing that was in the movie, or I don't know if it was a book or where exactly that was, where that saying came from. But when it said the greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he didn't exist, that's there's a lot of merit to that. Well, as you said, justified as being weak in said foundation and wicked in your ways, showing and proving is your strength and power that you must show forth and prove that the power of Allah is God, not for a victim. Universal 7 said, how I see flags, pros, and cons. I found out a lot of behind the scenes hip hop info, like who really killed Pac and just the different street dealings that took place. I only watch the guys who got a reputable name and seem like their story information is solid. Yeah, see, but even with that, it's still entertainment. Like he's saying that all of these is the real people, and this is what really happened over here, and that's what really happened over there. Even with those things, you know what I'm saying? A lot of times you get in, one version or the other because he got the certain people that he's friends with. You know, if you notice, the people that come on his shows repeatedly, time and time and time and time again. You know what I'm saying? And they tell a particular version of the events. You know what I'm saying? You know, and it's very, uh, I would just, kind of like ego driven. Especially when you're dealing with people, and that's just in general. It's not just Vlad's show, but anytime you see these individuals speaking, right? Especially when you're dealing with old street dealers. See, one of the reasons people come on these shows and go on these magazines and say so much things is because they still chasing that high of when they was the center of attention. See, a lot of dudes, like, you got dudes that never said nothing. You ain't don't know, all of a sudden, Don Diva magazine shows up and they spilling the beans about all these things that happen. It's because they missed the spotlight. When they used to pull up and everybody was like, what's that thing right there? So, when they go on there and they say these things, and then a lot of times, look, just wait a couple of weeks. Because you will have dudes that come on there, yo, man, we was mad hard. Yo, we was doing this, we was doing that. And then in a couple of weeks, man, they soft, man. I ain't never seen them put in no work. They used to just be around me. That's the only thing they did. You understand what I'm saying? So, then, you got a lot of things that's being said. The people is not here right now. And I'm not saying he didn't do it. I don't know one way or the other. I wasn't there, but I'm saying if Orlando Brown was here right now, do you think he would be saying, yeah, I did it? Now, this is what I said. Remember Lord Jamar said Vlad was his best friend. Nah, I didn't hear that. Like I said, I kind of tuned it out, and I never really, really tuned in like that. Like Universal 7 is saying, you had a couple of times where, they might have had this person, that person, and it was like, yo, this person is going to give you the real story of this. You know what I'm saying? That person, this person is going to give you the real story of that. So, but like right now, I couldn't even recall. I recall looking at the dude that I can't recall his name, but he was in that group. Like after NWA broke up, Eazy-E had another group with two people in it. And I remember watching him, but mostly because he had gotten locked up, and I hadn't seen him since back when he was putting music out. But for the most part, I'm not interested in that stuff. Some dudes is entertaining. You know what I'm saying? Like if they're the type of person that's entertaining. But a lot of that stuff at the end of the day, I would prefer not to have known that. Like I would have preferred not to have known that, Rich Porter got shot again. When he got to the place where they get ready to dump his body. I didn't even know. Now it wasn't above the law. It was I'm trying to think what was the name. But just a lot of that stuff is who knows why he wants to glorify that. You know what I'm saying? But we got a couple minutes in. I guess, should we wait for a few more people before we get into the topic? Or should we just make them watch the replay? Because I'm sure y'all want to get to the current event topics. Because just to dabble real quick, the main thing I notice is remember what I've been saying the whole time. Beware not to get pacified. Investigations and charges are not convictions. You know what I'm saying? I remember I said a couple of weeks ago, it seemed like they were setting up the scene to where all these guys were going to end up working. Remember when I said, they sprinkled a little crack. They sprinkled a little crack on each one of these cases. See what I'm saying? Sprinkle a little on George Floyd, and now he died from fentanyl. Sprinkle a little on Breonna Taylor, now she died because she's a drug dealer. You know what I mean? Sprinkle a little on Ahmaud Arbery, now he died because he was trespassing in the park, smoking weed. So I'm just saying, like I said, the focus on each one of these cases, right? Like it's doing right now, could easily backfire, as opposed to a focus as a whole, right, on how our community is policed. How quick you are to pull out weapons, in this situation than you are in other situations, in other communities. Uh, uh, and without really any focus on that, what I'm saying, without really, setting up a kind of, mindset to attack things from that angle, then you lose by each individual case. What was the plan B the whole time for if charges never came? You know what I'm saying? Like, what was like, okay, let's say they brought down the charges, everybody got convicted, they got condemned, you know what I'm saying? There was some type of true reform going on, okay, you made your point. You know what I'm saying? But, what was plan B for if this happened? But the land God has said these people's minds are so small, they really think that 12 million is more than enough. You're talking about that she got in the GoFundMe, because ultimately the GoFundMe, that's people giving. That's not that's not awarded by the state. It's not their money. They don't care. Outside the divine. Just a couple of biblical programs. But so yeah, let's get into this science right now. Where's Mr. 120? Can anybody get in touch with Mr. 120? Oh, so she got a settlement from the state. Well, her family got a settlement from the state for $12 million. Yeah, I didn't even hear about that. Rufus Levon Lacey said many people would respond the same way if they were cops. Okay, so respond to what the same way? Because in many of these situations, I would not, you said teachers, librarians, anybody that doesn't like black. Well, yeah, if you don't like black people, of course, that would be the way you respond. But you know, for most people, you look at these situations, right? And for black people, what it is we look at the entire situation from the time the police arrive on the scene, how these different situations are handled. You see what I mean? And you know, if you look, you know, police procedure is not designed for de-escalation. It's designed for bringing things to a head. You know, if a person is, you know, being uncooperative, their procedure is attack this person with outstanding force. You know, tase them, have multiple police jump on them, you know, whatever it is, you know. Even with, you know, like I said, you don't see kneecaps and shoulders, right, on well, they might have shoulders, you know what I mean? But, you know, you don't see arms and elbows on the chart when they at the gun range practicing. They don't practice to, you know, kneecap people and then see if, you know, the situation is adjusted. They train to fire the way they terminology, the phraseology that they use is, you know, they fire until the threat has been neutralized. But what that means is we kill you. You know, but that's that type of, you know, we took everything from them except their language. So see, just like I said, legalese is a kind of language. There's also a lot of euphemistic language that they use. You know, a lot of things, you know, separate but equal. You understand what I'm saying? You know, this is common knowledge, you know, to those who paying attention. You know, I'm not sure how much you were paying attention. Rufus Levon Lacey. Levon said to understand what it is that you're building or building on, and the person you're building with is still asking the question most has to justify your point and may manifest to show and prove your point, make understanding understood from the highest to the lowest. Those is, you know, that's peace. But see, even what y'all saying right there. Now, look, I'm gonna tell you one way, one thing, and this is just on face value, right? Just on the lowest hanging fruit, right? Of the difference between showing improvement and trying to justify is how much talking the person got to do. See, at the highest level of showing improvement, I ain't got to say nothing. I ain't got to say nothing. I show you, and it's proven. I show you the proof. I ain't got to say nothing. That's at the highest level of showing improvement. See, when you start getting into these other things of explaining and, you know, now you're trying to justify. talking about other things, like look, right now, you get pulled over in the car you're driving, they ask you for your license. If you got the license, you just say it. But if you ain't got the license, now you gotta start talking about, your pet dog, because you gotta tell them how your pet dog ate it. Universal service that action speaks louder than words. So this is, just in general, if you, in your travels, you dealing with people, the people who can deal, right, with, who can show and prove, they're not going to have to do as much talking. It's the people who's trying to justify, trying to sell you a version or sell you a story. You understand what I'm saying? Halftime. But what we're going to do, though, is related to the understandability. You understand what I'm saying? As we go through that, you're going. I'm going to show you some things that I've seen in it. Because it tells you about showing improvement right there in that degree. You know what I'm saying? So, we don't do that. But since we got Mr. 120 in here with us, Mr. 120, can you answer that question? Then why did God make the devil? Let's get that in the chat right there for the people who, they're not up there yet. Or anybody else who is anyone who has that ability to show and prove they're not the same person. What happened to Lacey? Lacey came in from Facebook. Of course, y'all know Facebook is a little bit different lane than YouTube. We get a lot of we get some strange food from Facebook a lot of times. Okay, right. So Mr. 120 could be saying we got L Lowry, the L brothers. You only got one L brother, 1-7 gang. We got Jansport Posse. What did I miss? Crew, Side Rally Smoke Squad. But so this first part right here that we're dealing with, right? He showed forth and proved the power that he is all wise and righteous, and that he can make a devil, which is weak and wicked, and give him the power to rule the earth for 6,000 years. Right? Now, there's a little bit difference between showing and proving and trying to justify. See, the first part of that degree right there, if you look at it, is telling you you have to own up to the devil that you made. See what I'm saying? You didn't make an excuse and say, oh, well, the dog ate my homework. Nah. It says that you made the devil. And you gave them the power. Not, they took the power, the devil did it. It was the devil. You
Devil.
The devil is a bad devil. You see, that's what happens when a person is trying to justify something, right? What they doing. They're always pointing the finger at other people. So now, once you take ownership for that, right? You know what the cause is. The cause is this, all that above is caused by the Son of Man. So now that gives you the power, right? Now you can show your power to what? Destroy that devil. And that's the difference between showing and proving and trying to justify. You see? Just like if I say, look, all the time, that happens here. All right, what degrees you know? You know this degree. All right, tell me the degree before that. My ex wisdom stole my lessons. You know, I drank some Kool-Aid and sugar caused me to forget the degree. I had to do my homework. All these different things right now, ain't none of those the degree. Ain't none of those the words that's in that degree. You see what I'm saying? So when I asked Mr. 120, right, he spoke the least amount that you got to speak. He only said the words that's in the degree. See, a lot of times, for a person to explain to me why they don't know the degree, you said more than the degree is. Like if I ask you, what's the understanding power degree, right? What's the understanding power degree in 140? Once you say 10 words, you said more than the degree is. The time that it takes you to think that up, right? You could have just knew the degree. That's the difference between showing and proving and trying to justify. See, truth can stand on the square. But you like I said, that's just something you got to be able to identify in all these different situations. All these different things where you're seeing, okay, or some people actually don't know what showing and proving is. Yeah, we can prove facts verbally through verbal communication. We can give you the evidence, of what it is that we say, and so that you can analyze it for yourself, and draw it up and see if it's true. You see, show, that means to demonstrate. You don't mean to say something. See, that's something different. That's what they call show and tell. See, show and tell is different than show and prove. See, most people is really familiar with the world of show and tell. They're not really familiar with the world of show and prove. See, because look, if anybody ever did that in school, when you go to show and tell, you just tell them whatever you want to tell. I rode a dragon. I rode a dragon back from the Himalayas. Yeah, we went to the Himalayas on vacation, and I was reading a book about tying knots. They had a particular kind of knot, and then I saw a dragon. I wanted to see if it worked, so I caught the dragon, and then I rode him home. See, I can just, I can just tell you that. You understand what I'm saying? But this is also what I'm saying, that when you're dealing with this knowledge is really an experience. And so that's why you can't just show and tell the experience. You're gonna have to show and prove the experience, because we're gonna be able to see, you know what I'm saying, in whatever it is that you create, or whatever cipher is born from whatever it is that you do, right? Whatever cipher is born from whatever it is that you do, right? People are going to be able to observe that and see what the knowledge was about. They're going to be able to see what the wisdom was about. You understand what I mean? They're going to see how the understanding came out. They're going to see, what kind of life was lived in. $793 came in. You're going to see what type of life was lived in, right? By looking at the cipher, because that's the evidence right there. That's the proof. That's the pudding. Where you ain't got to say nothing now. See, it works the other way too. Where look, when I say you ain't got to say nothing, I mean, listen, don't bullshit me. Don't tell me nothing. Don't tell me nothing. I'm looking right here at the evidence. You might have lying eyes, but I don't have lying eyes. So you see that happen sometimes in the chat room, where somebody will say, yo, how did you know this and how did you know that? I'm looking at the cipher. I'm looking at the evidence that's right there in front of me. You see? And I'm not just looking at it with the naked eye. I'm looking at it with the well-trained third eye. See, that's the difference between showing and proving and trying to justify, from the other perspective. Is that, like Raekwon said in the record, man, hit me. I don't want to hear nothing. Our son Knowledge, peace to the guy, that's he's doing the knowledge. As it is his name, his namesake right here. Yeah. All right. The Christian doing the knowledge. And and look, here's another example, right? Between, when we see these films, right? Like when we see the jump off with the video of George Floyd, right? But when we see the video of George Floyd, right? And then somebody else come and tell it, like, dude, I don't need you to tell me nothing. I looked at what happened right there. I don't need you want to tell me about what happened when I looked at it right there. When Twain said 8,400, if you manifest hell because of what you love, it's up to you to make it right. Exactly. See, that's showing and proving. And see, another lesson within that, right, is that, you know, one unrighteous act, this is something we should say, one unrighteous act is not going to make a righteous man the devil. Just like one righteous act is not going to make the devil a righteous man. So that's another thing what it's telling you about showing and proving. It's telling you about coming through the 21 cycles of death, hell, and destruction, right? And different things you might you might get caught up in, different things. You see? But the true living is able to overcome that. Positive elevation always corrects errors. We got here rich bloodline kennels. We're peace to rich bloodline kennels. To yeah. See, those who can't show and prove, like SW is saying right here, you understand what I mean? They remain stuck in that six. They never make it through the 9,000 miles. So to any of the newer people in the room, or not newer people, but people who don't know 120 lessons, you know what I'm saying? Some of this might have sounded a little bit complex to you because you don't know the degree. You know what I'm saying? But we do that. A couple of days ago, we was in the alphabet and we built on for that video, on this one right here, we started out with uh, the 1 to 40. But is everybody on the same page with me so far? Because we're not done. Is everyone hitting the like button for me? You know, because I'm on here pretending like I'm teaching. So the more y'all click the like button, the more people come in the room, the more I can BS myself. Y'all could hit a few more likes here. Y'all could hit a few more likes there for me. But so now, right, we're going to take that, right, because we just came from the understand and build degree, right? So now let's go to, right, and I'm gonna leave it open for a minute, right? Uh, uh, who can understand, right, or who can see how what we've been building on about showing and proving versus trying to justify, right, and how we dealt with that in the understand and build degree, right, and then tell me the 11th degree in the 114th. Make I know what y'all thinking. I'm making y'all work a little bit today. I'm funny that way. As W said, word is bond, and bond in life is showing improvement. Have you not heard that your word shall be bond regardless of whom or what was the first degree you got half time? See, that's brother. That's brother playing. See, the brother that gave you the knowledge, they're trying to let you know this thing is serious up front. It was in the context of a conversation, huh? I bet. Oh, man. Now, the Lord said, now that you speak on that degree, my grandfather used to say that all the time to me, your word is your bond. Carlos Clark. Yeah, he was telling you that this thing's very serious. That don't if you want to play lotto. Don't play a lot. Man. So 120 said if your word is bond, it means your word should be true. The truth never needs justification. Now, so yeah, basically, y'all all, seen that pretty clearly coming. You see what I'm saying? That, see, when the word, right, is your life, remember, the first thing we got into when we said this, right, is, at the highest level of showing improvement, you ain't got to use no words. You ain't got to say nothing. You ain't got to say nothing because the word is your life. The word is your life. So, you know what I'm saying? If you say, you a sanitation worker, if you walking down the street, with the sanitation uniform on, or you driving a truck and you getting out and you throwing the garbage in the back of the truck, most people ain't going to say, are you a sanitation worker? Because the word is life. And it's what? Shown. It's shown. You see the proof in what they're showing, which is the actual activities of their life. The minute by minute, the hour to hour, the day by day actions that they partake in. this is how you're going to see the proof, right, of the kind of ideas that this person has. Yeah. That time, sir, I saw how sincere he was. I actually promised never to break my word to him. Then he hit me with that retreat. I mean, you know, I've been doing this a little minute half time. I'm telling you, I'm telling you, he that everything what you just said right there, that was why he said that. You know, I mean, that's not, that's not uncommon. You know, that's a, one way of going about it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, on those first days when you came into the cipher, those are the type of things that you heard. In my time coming in, uh, brothers let you know that people lost their lives over this. You know what I'm saying? Brothers let you know about all the sacrifice that it took for this nation to be here. You know what I'm saying? And they let you know when that first much is given and much is going to be required. You know, that this knowledge is not to be played with. All right, see now that said I've done that, my word was so good with certain merchants that I could go into certain stores and come out with what I wanted with no money. See, what was better than your word though was your actions of paying the people back. See, that's what was really good. Was your actions. People knew what you was going to do after that. It's the green one, Queen Mecca. So I don't know. I guess we got all scholars in here today. You understand what I mean? But we pretty much seen, you know, word is life. When you show and prove what you say, you know what I'm saying? So of course, you know, let's go down one more to the 136 and see if anybody can relate the the 11th degree in the 136 to what we've been building on so far about showing and proving versus trying to justify. You see, decreasing, see when your reputation precedes you in a positive manner, you know, that's when you walk on water. Your reputation of who you are and what you do and what you're about has already traveled through, you know, through people speaking of you. You walked on that water. When you get there, the people already heard of you. Christian said people watch you and what you do more so than what you say. Now, Tom said, is it true that that degree used to be different? What degree? P. Diddle. What degree? Said 2 degrees in one. So we got P. Diddle. I don't know. P. Diddle is reaching us from from Facebook, so y'all might not be seeing his comments. We from P. Diddle. You got some specific slang right here that you're using. You from New York. So why you talking like you from the West Coast, P. Diddle? Brooklyn. Now Mr. Spot came in. And saying the East Coast is where it's at. Man. You gotta talk like an East Coaster. You said, what up, car? You started making me wonder, if I'm wearing blue, I had to look at my shirt real quick. Like, what made you say that to me? Brilliant elevation. You said, what up, car? Like, what's going on there, buddy? Okay, I think what we need to do here is we need to back up a little bit, right? To uh, we need to back up a little bit here to the ninth degree. Ninth is the brother said, you know, if you come in late, that you have to. The brother said, if you come in late, you're on your own today. They said all of the people, all of the people who came in late, uh, you get the crying Jordan face. But we need to back up to the ninth degree for a second. P. Little came and went real quick. Anyone, ninth degree, anyone 36? You look, anyone? Right. Why does he fear the devil? Now he's a big man, right? Then the 10th degree is anyone, 10th degree. Because the devil told him how to eat the raw foods, right? And now the 11th degree is, so because some people is a little bit all over the place, let's stay in the pocket of what we're talking about. Queen, I could let you talk today. You gotta catch Queen Mackie's comments fast. Does that have anything to do with the above question number 10? Right? And now, what is the 12th degree in the 136? Malik Lowe came in from Facebook. How many likes we got, man? Everybody else really each one teach, man. So y'all, I'm trying to pretend like I'm teaching. I need y'all to click like. I don't know what just happened. I got kicked out of something. I don't know what just happened. Wait, did everyone get kicked out? All right. See, looks like everyone's back. Yeah, I got kicked out. What happened? I got kicked out of my own, what's it? You know, but you know, the key part, right, of that is uh, I don't know, maybe I shouldn't try to make this last point. Maybe I need to change the topic. Maybe I shouldn't try to make this last point. But you know, in terms of when y'all dealing with the lessons, right? You know, a couple of brothers said when you deal with the 11th degree, right? Uh, because you deal with the science of the above question number 10, right? Uh, you know, people relate that to other degrees. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's the uh, 1 to 10, you know, somebody said the 1 to 40 or whatever, you know, those degrees can fit in right there, you know. But you also got to look at the 136 in the context of what it is, you know, in itself. Just like we look at, uh, you know, all the rest of the degrees in the context, you know, of the 1 to 14 is giving you a certain kind of lessons. You know what I'm saying? A certain kind of message. You know, the 136 is telling us in particular about the history of, you know, at least, you know, a segment of the original people that's here in the wilderness of North America. You know what I'm saying? So the key to all of those, uh, the key to whether you leave it in the context of the 136, whether you apply it to the 1 to 10 or the 1 to 40, right, is that those degrees is dealing with a mystery God. You understand what I'm saying? They are dealing with a mystery God, you know, and how the belief in this makes you other than your own self. And so, see, getting back to what I was saying earlier, right, where the person who is trying to justify, right, they always blaming things on the mystery God. You know, like the Christians say, yeah, you know, the devil did it. It was the devil. Instead of seeing that, no, you the one that made that devil. Or you the one who built the science of God. But you got to see that in yourself, see showing and proving, right, comes from inside of you. Trying to justify that, that's a All right, we back in effect, I guess. You understand what I'm saying? But it might. Okay, I think we had it. That topic. I don't know if I made myself ultimately clear with that last point, but we need to try something else. We need to try something else because I'm going in and out over here. I'm going in and out. So when 20 said the devil can give it, don't mean you gotta take it. I don't even know. Is it possible for us to get? Is it possible for us to get this next topic off? Even like I don't know. But so I guess now is the time to transition to see if the algorithms treat me nicer. I don't know if the algorithms will treat me nicer. know, uh, hopefully, you know, I don't get a whole bunch of calls tomorrow about how I left incomplete science. But getting into the current events, things like I was saying, right? Uh, what is everyone's take? Matter of fact, let me put the. I don't know why I waited so long for this too. Yeah, right. When we was talking about Vlad, they wasn't bringing that up. But so yeah, I don't know if this next topic, if we gonna get the all clear. Hmm, that's strange. For some reason, it wouldn't. For some reason, uh, the link it looks like it's not going out to Facebook, but it's on YouTube. But yeah, what is everyone's take on what's going on? Is that's Louisville, right? Louisville, Kentucky, with Breonna Taylor. You know, uh, the Christian said, "Who was the shooter?" That's a good question, man. Uh, I don't know. So far, I just saw the headline that it happened. I don't know if they, apprehended any suspects, but we'll see how that plays out. Uh, you know, uh, it's definitely an escalation of, it's an escalation of the reaction. It's still in the big picture. You know what I'm saying? Uh, you know, uh, still, what's the end game scenario? You know what I'm saying? In the big picture, like what is, because see, like I said, if we're going to be at a level where okay, you get an indictment, right, and then we all go home. There's nothing to see. So 120 said they prepared for riots and 2 cops still got hit. You talking about the bar? Choose one of what? But I mean, yeah, that's another perspective. You know what I'm saying? But for me, it's still, you know, uh, like that was about a week and a half ago when we had a live. When I was saying that, it appears that they've, like everything seemed pretty cut and dry about 2 months ago. Everything seemed cut and dry. Listen, these things was dead wrong. And the people who did wrong is going to serve a penalty for it. D. Christian, yeah, this is a very good point D. Christian makes right here. If anybody is out of shape in here, get your fitness up and defense tactics in order. Yeah. Yeah. How many I got now? How many I got now, Brain Elevation? Because see, I don't even want to jump too far off into what until we know who did that. See, because that's why I said D. Christian made a good point. That's why I asked everybody else what they think about it. You know, uh, like I said, my original, I was saying that the way all this new evidence started getting leaked, and a lot of evidence started negating other things. They putting out all this other stuff. I was like, it appears to me that they setting this up for all these officers to walk. You know what I mean? Like, okay, enough time has passed to where the people they thinking about something else. You know what I mean? They thinking about WAP. You know what I'm saying? Or they thinking about you know uh, whatever is the distract. I'm not distracted, so I don't know. I'm not paying attention to what the distractions are. But if there's enough distraction going on, where now we can go ahead and open up the back door and let all these guys out. All right, on Bill Born Freedom. Yeah, we can make it happen. We gotta. I don't know. The last like 50 people, it's been a little rough. And when I first came out of the sevens, I was moving kind of fast. You know, disagreeing one said, why does the devil keep our people apart from his social justice? The boss said the evidence seems patchy. Bullets now flying through other people's homes from where they came up with their charge. Yeah, wanton endangerment. Yeah, I noticed that. Uh, that's pretty much what he got charged with is the bullets went straight. You know what I'm saying? D. Christian said that language is utilized in the court of law to justify even what is blatantly seen by the naked eye. I think I gotta look it up. Probably about 100. You're right. That's about right, bro. You know, when we hit the magic number, so we be free. Hmm. Made a good point right there. But oh, this is Benjamin Crump said this. They indicted for shooting the house, but they didn't indict for shooting the person. You know, these is all the different things. But see, you know, because that's the important part. You know that bringing about that kind of change that saves lives. You know, because I don't want to get too far into the reaction to it yet, because we don't know who, like Mr. 120 asked from the jump, who's the shooters. We will find out that there's some individuals who just like that's their goal, is to set off some type of race war. So that's the purpose of them doing that. I'm not saying that's what it is. I'm saying we don't know. We don't know if it just was some other person who was in the midst of doing something else, not even to deal with the protests, and maybe the police approached them for whatever reason, and something totally else happened. We don't know. Christian said the news is like a scripted movie, don't take it on face value. Yeah, that's true. Anthony Layla, what is wrong with you? There's something going on Facebook. Are y'all ordering drugs on Facebook or something now? Where you from, Anthony Blaylock? Anthony Blaylock knows what new sex smells like. That's pretty deep right there. That's pretty deep right there, Anthony. What exactly does moose sex smell like? It smell goods in the room? Smell goods. See if we can get some of that pink foam. See if we can get some of that pink foam. And so you can make oils out of it. You might sell more of that. You might sell more of that than Miss Batu. What? Ex-founder of Battle Rap League. Ex-founder suing Battle Rap League for $40 million. He got $40 million in one. That means, not saying that they can have that, just saying that, that's the first I've ever heard of whatever type of economics is dealing with that. That's a good number. If they making that type of money to pay out, you know what I'm saying? See these kind of, Blue Mile, Egyptian musk. Nah, son. You gotta get the P-funk. You got Mrs. Spy said you gotta get the moose sex incense. Mr. Greenwood said their so-called independent investigation concluded they couldn't determine whose bullet actually killed Breonna Taylor. However, that different that differs from the FBI's own investigation, which shows Bruce did. That's and did they give any reasoning for that? Like, what was the reason that they couldn't trace the bullets? Did they go through too many walls and get damaged? Because I know the news reporting, there was supposed to be one guy that they were saying there was supposed to be one guy that they were saying is was the person whose bullets hit him. Man, that's crazy. They got 113 million merging with a gamer app. Man, they're doing anything. Well, let's see how this comes out. And I'm on the outside looking in. It's like, oh man, you said this was just a few weeks ago, and then they already falling out with each other. As soon as they get the money, if they split it, that's enough to do some big things still. But if they came this far, keeping everything together, you know what I'm saying? 113 million is a lot more to make some other type of investments with. Yeah, that was a very strange case. D. Christian is bringing up. I didn't hear about this one. They found an original man's body on fire in a ditch. What was that? But this one right here, where you said the brothers who got hanged, that was another wild story. I know one of the brothers who got hanged, his brother, his physical brother, got shot up by the cops like maybe a week and a half later, if that much. The Boston report said it was suggested that bullets hit other apartments close by, and the Color folks' house where they hit had one of the cops catch the bogus one-time endangerment charge. So that's what I'm saying, though. But how did they trace this bullet that apparently went into other people's house, but they wasn't able to trace which bullets was in Breonna Taylor? Greenwood said the Attorney General said a ballistic report by the FBI determined that Mattingly fired 6 times and Cosgrove 16 times. They also said there were discrepancies between the investigation carried out by Kentucky State Police and the FBI over which officer fired the shot that killed Taylor. State investigators could not determine which of the officers killed Taylor, while the FBI found that Cosgrove fired the fatal shot. Does this mean the federal charges? You know, but when they get in the federal court though, they don't get charged with murder. They get charged with violating people's civil rights. But you know what is gonna come, you know, like you know, it was 2020, that type of year where look, just look, just watch. I'll try to do that. You know, slowly, you know, you're seeing uh, you know, when you start I'm starting to hear about coronavirus again. You know what I mean? So, you know, all of the quarantining or whatever, you know, it's still here. You know, all of the rebelling, the protesting, the looting, all of these things, you know, we still here at no indictments in this case, you know, and it was looking like, you know, no convictions in the other cases. You know what I mean? We got indictments already, say for instance, in the George Floyd case, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, from a lot of the evidence they put out, it's starting to seem like it's not going to be any conviction. So just saying in terms of the energy that was spent, you know, since that was like March, you know what I'm saying? You know, the energy that we've spent, you know, what are we getting out of this year right here? And, you know, that's something that I do. You know, that's not, well, I don't know. You know, I don't really, uh, I don't really, it's not something that I've necessarily had a conversation with a lot of people about. But one thing I do is I try to learn a lesson from each year. You know, like a couple of years ago, I remember the lesson was whatever it is that you think you don't need to say, now you need to say. You know how, like, look, if you give somebody a bottle of water, right? You say, go ahead, you can drink this. You probably think you don't need to tell that person to take the top off before you drink it. But a couple of years ago, I learned that now you got to tell them, take the top off first. You know, different years, I learned a lesson like that. Okay, I had enough. I learned. You know, I got to see. You know, looking back at this year, what was the lesson that I learned for this year? That's a good question. From what I understand, 793rd has how many shots did the boyfriend let go when he heard the people coming into the apartment? From what I understood, he fired one warning shot. You know what I'm saying? But now, you know, some of the innuendo that's being spread, you know what I'm saying, is that, you know, he's like in a full on shootout with them. You know what I mean? Christian uh, suggested everyone keep their immune system up. Always a good idea. 793rd said that all the original officials up in Rochester resigned after the incident with the bag over the brother's head came to light. No. From what I understand with that, like the the administration portion of the police department either resigned or you know, took a voluntary demotion. Like all of the you know, like the captain and the, you know, all the vice lieutenants or, you know, whatever they call them, in the police department. I don't know about, talking about like the city officials, like the city council. I haven't heard that per se. But a lot of times that's what I'm seeing now too. That on Monday and Tuesday, uh, I guess because of the class, I can't really say for sure. But I notice I'm mostly out of the loop on the news on Monday and Tuesday. The Christians said they put away George Floyd's shirt and put on the latest NBA jersey. The Texas man is not existent for some. Turkey and Santi going to fully erase 2020 from the mind. I mean, on this particular year, I think people might be happy if they get some turkey and Santa, because slowly it's coming to the point of what I was saying that, the effects is going to start coming it's going to start coming to the forefront. What we've been dealing with all this time has really been the cause. Yeah, Sean Bell was another outstanding example of these kind of things. And it's the cases like Sean Bell and Amadou Diallo, right, that give me the kind of skepticism, that the whole time I was able, or my point was still that, listen, the amount of pressure still has to be put on to where we got to say, we got to have an idea of what we want justice to look like in our communities. You know what I'm saying? And how we going to go about that. See, like for instance, what I'm saying is that on the level with the 19 families, right? That's out of Georgia that bought the property. These are people who said, okay, we have an idea of how we want to live. We know what we want to do. We know what we want around us. We know what we don't want around us. We know what we want around us. So, I'm not sure exactly how much land it is and exactly what rights that gives them within the state, but I'm sure they're going to have a whole lot more say so about how the police act when they come into their area, than you do when you're not thinking about that. When you don't have your own determined idea about that, so you just become a part of somebody else's determined idea. You know what I'm saying? And we know the determined idea that they came from was facilitated by killing the black. So see, now they got their own space that they founded, right? And they founded it based on love and unity, you know what I'm saying, and ideas of progress between them. You see what I mean? So if they stay within that nature, right, for everything that they do in that place, then most likely we're not going to be hearing about this type of thing happening there. And if you do hear it, you will hear about, it was a whole uh, Black Wall Street type of thing. You know what I'm saying? Where I'm pretty sure Georgia is the type of state where, uh, Georgia is the type of state where they can, they'll be able to have protection for themselves. You know what I'm saying? In the case that, individuals aggress their property, on people. Have time. Trump said the election is most definitely going to be the next big news story. And if Trump loses, watch everyone hold hands and sing "Kumbaya." Uh, do you think we'll get the tears that we got last time? Yeah, I just realized a whole bunch of Seven Gang came up in here. But you think we're gonna get the tears if it goes the other way? Like remember, you have people uh, crying hysterically when Hillary lost. Oh man, 793rd said the courthouse has been set on fire in Louisville. And it's getting heavy. Yeah, that was wild. Halftime. Halftime said I wanted to throw up when I saw Pelosi and Kente Club. How much more of this? How much more of this you see come January? Christian said you're going to see all more melee and Walmart fighting guaranteed. If your credit card got to be maxed out or something, got to get robbed. Lil Ray Ray and them getting a new Xbox. I mean, you know, but got to be aware that they got some real high powered technology out there. You know what I'm saying? So, if you decide to go that route, be extra safe. You know what I'm saying? If you decide to go that route, I'm not suggesting it, but definitely be careful. Yeah, disagree with. Listen, disagree with. That was one of my favorite lines too. Good dude say, "Yo, in the Matrix," he said, "This steak right here, I know it's fake. I don't care." Ah man, he said, "Halftime said I expect Trump to win again, and I expect things to get much worse in this country." I mean, listen, is it a joke that me and some of the older school Knicks fans, if you remember when Michael Ray Richardson was here, and one time at the post game interview, they asked him like, "Yo, what's the deal with the team? Like, what's going on? Y'all seem to be struggling." And so uh, uh, Michael Ray Richardson says, "This should be sinking." So they say the person doing the interview is saying, "How low can it go?" And Michael Ray said, "Sky's the limit." how low can it go? Sky's the limit. Ah man, so right now, listen, this thing is sky's the limit right now, man. Yeah, guys, Cyber Divine is gonna be the Jesse Jackson Obama tears, man. Now hold on. I know that I got one better for you. The Juan Williams tears. I don't know if y'all know Juan Williams. He used to be on all different things, but then he got a job over at Fox, and apparently his job over there is to make the Democratic or the non-conservative, non-Republican view seem as ridiculous as possible. So now July said, right now, he's looking at the possibility that some white people was the ones who burned down the courthouse. At time said at 45, but again, he knows he doesn't have to hold back, and others from his party won't have to pretend to put a leash on him. I mean, listen, man. The way I look at it, they all cooperate anyway. Because the fact of the matter is, and this is not, you know, supporting or being against him or whatever, but look, uh, when we went to elementary school, right? They taught us about the system of checks and balances in the government. That the reason why there's three branches of government is to provide checks and balances on power. So the people in the Congress that come out and tell you all this stuff about Trump, they ain't showing improvement. They try and justify it because they got to cooperate with it. In order for a system with checks and balances in it to go in a particular direction, it needs cooperation from all the different branches that provide the checks and the balance. So if a person from the Congress, or the Senate comes out and tells you all this stuff about the okay, well then you're telling me that your plan is to not do your job. So that's why I say, to me, the singling out of Trump is a little bit of a distraction. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, I agree with you in terms of sky's the limit on how low this ship can go. You know what I'm saying? But Trump, in my opinion, provides a kind of uh, he provides that situation. This is a Hotep channel. So I don't, I'm going to say this in a way, I don't want people to think that I'm trying to come at, females in a negative way. But have you ever known a female who, she hangs around other females that's not on her level of attractiveness? They're not on her level of attractiveness. So then she can be the kind of queen bee, that gets all of the attention. There's many different situations, what I mean, where people keep people around of a certain character and quality, right? That always makes them look good. Because you can always look at the character and quality of this other person over here. You see what I'm saying? So, just like they brought up, Nancy Pelosi wearing the kente cloth. You know, why did she do that? You know, that's VladTV to me. You know, like I said, you know, where that's an example of, like I said, you using the same strategy of making people think you're friendly with them, when in reality your whole plan is to exploit them. The Christian said Trump is just a mouthpiece. Great elevation that he might have met one or two females that you know, might take in that practice. Uh, Halftime said the Republicans are realizing they don't have to be concerned about their guy having no filter. All those who criticize him are still rooting for him and making excuses. Cruz is a perfect example. I mean, I don't even know if they're making excuses. I just think that uh, you know, all of Washington, D.C. is a stage, and all the politicians merely players. You know what I'm saying? And the intensity of the drama has increased. You know, you know the you know the dramatic tension between, you know, what do they call it? You know, it's got to be a certain tension, you know, between the certain characters. You know what I'm saying? You know, whatever this rivalry, you know, like in a Chinese movie, you know, the tension between the two major characters is, you know, one guy's a bad guy and he's killed somebody's brother or sister or whatever that needs to be avenged. And so there's this tension between the characters. You know what I'm saying? Or somebody takes over the land and they unrighteous, and it's this one righteous dude in town that they know, I can't do what I want to do as long as this dude exists. You know what I'm saying? Or, you know, if it's a romantic movie, you know, there's some tension where, you know, the two people, you know, the man and the woman, their relationship is, you know, platonic, but, you know, there's this underlying uh, tension, you know, that they attracted to each other. You know what I'm saying? You know, so, you know, the underlying tension between the Democrats and the Republicans is supposed to be like the different issues or whatever. But at the end of the day, you uh, like for instance, you know, for a long time, you got one side that speaks about, you know, criminal reform, say, right? And you got another side that talks about cutting taxes. But if you go back, you know what I'm saying, and you look at it, right, you know, the Democrats push more for, you know, mandatory minimums and things of that nature than the Republicans did. They push the, uh, they push the penalties for serving crack cocaine over powder cocaine higher than the Republicans did. And somebody was bringing up Mr. Reagan. I know they was bringing it up in reference to the movie The Matrix, but President Reagan, who's the, you know, they got what they call what they call it, neocons, neoconservatives, right? The new conservatives and kind of their, the patriarchy of that goes, Barry Goldwater, Ronald Reagan, and now you got all these modern presidents that they supposed to model themselves over Ronald Reagan, right? Of conservative, low taxes, all of this stuff. But Ronald Reagan jacked taxes up higher than at more of a margin than anybody. So at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, you caught up in this drama, but yeah, it's like, yeah, at the end of the movie, when this dude shoots this guy down, yeah, but that was fake. He's gonna be in another movie, in a couple months. Christian Soda. So DC is a stage. What you think is the next act? Well, personally, I think the next act is put your helmets on, look out below. There's things beyond the colored man's control, and we just at a point, in government, anytime you're dealing with a large group of people, it's something called the law of unintended consequences. You know what I'm saying? That you can have this righteous goal or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But when you create this positive thing, that there's also going to be some other things, right, that you didn't intend to happen. Now, of course, some of those things you didn't intend to happen, they might work out for the better. But a lot of times, those things that you didn't intend to happen, they're not good. And this is where we at right now. Every, we the Nation of Islam, right? Nation of our God, whatever how you, but in terms of what I'm saying is we have no birthright, no beginning or ending. See, all these other nations, all these other governments, forms of government, etc., they have a birthright. So that means they're going to have an ending. Absolutely. So I used to know a group of girls who would make bets on who could get the most dudes to ask for their number. The prettiest one hung around the ones who always had the most drama and talk about them. I mean, these things happen. But this is a Hotep channel, so we always put that disclaimer in there to let black women know that we're in full support. It's Constantine. What kind of have you been drinking lean, Constantine? What, I don't know what's going on Facebook, but apparently there's some kind of black market drugs over there that people get their hands on. Supreme One said the next act in DC after the election is to continue daily to lower the 85% to their needs. next act is to push the conservative agenda at all costs, which is why I think Trump gets reelected. Now, I'm gonna tell you something. If Trump gets to replace the notorious RBG, you know about the notorious RBG, right? FDJV said it's been imploding since World War I. Has anyone heard about the notorious RBG? The Pizzy, the notorious RBG is Ruth Bader Ginsburg. You know that's just to show you the influence. You know, and look, this is another thing. I guess this is one of them days like that where things that just coincide a lot. You know, but in the regular news now, you got a lot of culture vultures, and so they use this, the notorious BIG. They came up with the notorious RBG. You understand what I'm saying? But she just returned to the essence. Queen Medina came in. I got Queen Medina. I've been saving something for you too. I might tell you in a minute. The notorious RBG was a Supreme Court justice, and she just passed away. Like D. Christian said, Halftime said the race to replace her is such a chess game, right? Now, you know why the race to replace her is such a big deal, right? But yeah, Queen Medina, what I wanted to what I was waiting to tell you was that I checked out right, RBG is traditionally known as red, black, and green right here. We probably don't want to say the notorious RBG in front of the mathematician. Because you know the mathematician, that's his colors. He's out there flagging. But yeah, Queen Medina. What I was waiting to tell you is I watched that lady that you're talking about. The lady that she builds the primitive houses or whatever. She you know, she do her thing, but she not like the dude. She and some of her tools is kind of modern. You know, it's not a total, but she get busy though. I give her that. She get busy, and she do her work by herself. You know what I'm saying? But the dudes, they be making swimming pools and multi-story dwellings, and a couple of them, they basically only use a stick. Right, halftime, seeing the light on what's so important about the notorious RBG is that the Supreme Court, has had a certain balance where it's been more liberals on the Supreme Court at least going back to like the 70s, you know what I mean? When you start having the abortions and all of that getting passed through, a lot of these things have gotten upheld because of the makeup of the court. You know what I'm saying? Like there was dudes, what was the dude named Wendell Holmes or something like that? And he was a dude who, the way I understand it, I haven't studied. I think it's Wendell Oliver Holmes, but he was a dude who, uh, he was deciding things. His decisions was kind of based on, uh, white supremacy. Uh, and over time, somehow a lot of dudes that was on the court with him in the early 1900s or whatever, they passed away. And then another whole bunch of liberals came in. So you start getting a lot more liberal rulings from the court. So if Trump gets to put another conservative on the court, then it really almost doesn't even matter if he wins again. Like even if he loses and he only do those 4 years, his legacy will probably be greater than the next president, because RBG is one of the last. Like who else is on there? Like Clarence Thomas is still. I don't know how old Clarence Thomas is. But everybody else has been replaced. You know what I'm saying? Over the last, like since H.W. Bush, the son, ever since him, mostly everybody's been replaced. So if these next people, if this is the way the court looks for the next 20 or 30 years, then you're going to see a lot of cases getting appealed. You know what I'm saying? You're going to see, abortion coming back to the a lot of rulings. You're going to see them come up with reasons, because you really can't kind of just take things to the Supreme Court. Like there's got to be a case. And this case has got to, be controversial. And then, even with that, the Supreme Court picks and chooses which cases they take on. Some of them, they just say, look, you got to live with whatever's the rule you already got. Half time said they've been working on this since the Obama administration, which is why McConnell sabotaged to keep the ratio where it was. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, is that it's not necessarily they've been working on it since Obama, but since the son Bush was running, they realized that they was dealing with a court that was getting really old. Over the years, I'm saying you had Rehnquist died. I think did Stephen Bayer die? What's his name? Stephen something. You know what I'm saying? You had the dude that somebody stepped down, I think, so that they could have a young person put in a position while whoever was their person was in office. But over the last years, they've pretty much all been replaced. You know what I'm saying? So it was like it was very it was seen as an urgent matter. You know what I'm saying? If you notice, that was one of the issues that Trump ran on, was that we need to get back control of the court, because see, now if you conservative, right, and not picking sides, because this is YouTube, you know what I'm saying? You gotta watch what you say. Uh, but we can see how certain rulings started going, right? Now, if you hold certain points of view, right, politically, you know, you looking at the court, you like, yo, it was three women. You know what I'm saying? You had Sotomayor, uh, what's the other lady's name? I can't recall her name. What's the other lady's name? And then you have Ruth Bader Ginsburg. So of course you're gonna start getting a lot of rulings, you know what I'm saying? If that favor women. You know what I'm saying? Uh uh and so, when you look at the type of laws that's been being upheld, right? You know, uh, freedoms and rights. No, O'Connor, she been dead. There's a new lady that got on there. And she Obama put on there. After Sotomayor, she put this lady on. Apparently, she wasn't even a lawyer before they put her on there. You see that? That's kind of what happens. Is that when a certain faction in America become political, when they become a political faction enough, they get representation on the Supreme Court. You understand what I'm saying? So, for instance, you got a large group of Hispanics here, those issues at the forefront, they got a representative on the Supreme Court. You know what I'm saying? When, you know, you had civil rights era and, black people became more of a political force, you got Thurgood Marshall on the Supreme Court. When you had ERA and all these different women's live started coming to the forefront in the 70s, you got Sandra Day O'Connor. You understand what I'm saying? So they realized that, as the gay population gained political power, they got representation on the Supreme Court too, through this other lady that I can't recall her name right now. And so, if you, from a conservative side of the spectrum, right, then, you kind of disagree with this. So now you want to put, if you notice, uh, Trump, he put two dudes on there so far. You know what I mean? Good old red-blooded American Pie baseball colored men. You know what I'm saying? That that stick to the colored man script. In terms of how they live their life, the things what's going on and everything, that have the same type of mindset. You know what I'm saying? So that the laws that they uphold will be in favor of, baseball and apple pie. The Christian said the notorious RBG said Kaepernick was stupid for kneeling. They're all in the same game. Yeah. Yeah. At the end of the day, there's kind of a mentality right, amongst the colored people that, look, you know, we gave you people a chance. And look what y'all did with it. So now, instead of cooperating with this thing, you know what I'm saying? This is something that needs to be controlled. Then it said there are 8 left on the court, so if there's a problem like with the election and Trump is a tie, he needs to secure his position. Most of us Melaninites got conservative values. They caught up on face value. I mean, no, I wouldn't say they caught up. You know, uh, you know, uh, you know. See, black people in terms of government is what they call fiscally liberal, economically liberal, and uh, they're morally conservative. You know what I'm saying? But they only liberal with the government's money. So now when it comes to their money, they're fiscally conservative. So you have somebody out there and they'll be complaining about why Bush ain't giving us no stimulus checks. Ask them to borrow $20. All of a sudden they turn into Republican real fast. Kagan, that's her name. Oh man, stop at halftime. Why would you say a thing like that? But so yeah, that's what you saying that Biden was the win. But now, like you said, that's the chess game. Can they get the conservative justice through the process before the election? You know what I'm saying? So right now they got what, 2 months? No, not even, right? This is already the end of September, so they got October and then November. Well, technically speaking, I guess they got until January. So that would be 3 months and a little bit of change. But you know what happens? If you lose the election, dudes ain't really trying to cooperate with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, even remember with Obama, at the end, it was like, yeah, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, you out of here in 2 months, man. We not passing nothing that you suggested. You know what I'm saying? So I would say he got until November. Like, if they get that person on there, then they tilted it in a way where that's gonna last for some people that's gonna be the rest of their life is they're gonna live with that court. Now he's born hit the scene.
Dead ma riganciare.
So you got 44 days until the election. So, you know, in my opinion, Trump is going to try to pump this through by that time. Um, you don't have time. I guess I'm a little bit out of touch on that, but and you know, I think that's another. I think that's another. I think that's another goal that they have in in. I think that's another goal that they have in, you know, kind of you know, advertising Trump so much is you know, not just Trump but, you know, Hillary and all the people, is to kind of make uh, you know, kind of make politics so kind of annoying, and you know, just people don't really want to deal with it. So uh, you know, you start ignoring it. You start not paying attention. You start blocking it out because, you know, it seems so you know, disgusting to everybody. You know what I'm saying? So right now, I'm unaware on what the balance in the Congress looks like. Is it is it's a Democratic Congress, isn't it? I know the Congress is Democratic because Pelosi is the majority speaker, but she's the leader of the majority. But what about the Senate? Saying all that to say because that's what matters. All right, so yeah, you said Democrats got the House, Republicans got the Senate. You know, because what I'm saying is that matters in you know, how they're going to be able to get the votes to push through the confirmation. They're supposed to release the Epstein flight logs next. It's going to look spooky for some. I mean, I don't really know about that. You know, I mean, I don't know how big of a deal that's going to end up being. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot of it's a lot of you know, speculation. You know, because I mean, remember, man, at one time that was supposed to be the whole hoax of the coronavirus, was that you know, uh, it came out to somehow stop the trial from happening for pedophiles on uh, on that was dealing with Epstein or something, and supposedly Tom Hanks was going to get charged, and that's why he got coronavirus and all this stuff. Okay, right. Pence gets to vote with the Congress. Pence, the vice president, is the president of the Congress. So how do you get three votes over them? If the So some of the Democrats is voting for the. They have some Democrats supporting putting a new justice in already. Yeah, that's something, the jury is still out for me on that. I don't know what's, but it's so many things they trying to, and that's just something that's going on right now with the, the kind of human trafficking, all of this stuff. And, I don't want to belittle, because I know there's some real cases of it. However, my opinion is that there's a possibility that there's a little overblowing of what's the deal with that. So one Republican already said he won't play ball, another said maybe. Well, we'll see what happens. You know what'll end up happening? Uh, they're gonna end up having something that they can hold hostage. Like it's gonna be something like, yo, look, if y'all want us to vote on the stimulus package or something, like it'll be some emergency thing. Like for instance, they just signed a bill to avoid a partial shutdown of the government. So it'll probably be something important like that they'll say, all right, well, look, if y'all don't give us the vote, if y'all don't bring us confirmation to the floor, then we're not going to vote on that other thing. But definitely, if if he gets this justice in there, then his legacy will be very much solidified. I mean, right? Feel my lights going on today. I don't know, man. The haters that came on today, they're not very good. They're not very good at this Trojan stuff. All right, see, God's side of the mind is saying, he's dealing with that firsthand, being that he works for the government. So this bill that they passed is just temporary. So uh, how long until they have to vote on it again? Because God's side of the mind is saying right here that, uh, all right, the, math, the mathematician just came in the room. So, just say, just say, just say Ruth Bader Ginsburg. But yeah, God's side of the mind is saying that, that bill, or, if they don't pass whatever bills they need to pass about the finances of the government, that that could put him on furlough because he works for the government. The mathematician came in. All right. The brother, where he was at, he was in Oakland or something, right? I was born. All right. He's on the 136 right now. That's good. You can check the replay of the live. You probably understand. At the end, I don't know. We had some difficulties though. I was trying to complete, my thought on showing and proving versus trying to justify, and I kept getting booted off. So then we had to switch up really quick. But yeah, I'm gonna keep an eye on this. Well, what else can you do right now? But I guess we all got to keep an eye on what's going on over in Kentucky. And when we come back on Friday, we can get into. Get back on Friday, we can get into a little bit more in depth about what that means. You know what I mean? First of all, what does it mean that no justice from the government appears like it's going to be served? You know what I'm saying? Not at this time. So what from that level of what we're going to do, not just as a reaction of what they do, what should we do to bring about the level of change? What should we do to bring about the level of change so that we can get justice in these situations? And also from the standpoint of the reaction that's already occurred. Let me see if this. Checking right now to see if. They still don't appear to have anything on. Oh, somebody ain't tell me the stock market crashed today. It doesn't appear that they have anyone, at least not in the news that I'm looking at right now. It doesn't appear that they have anybody in custody for shooting cops. Well, this is quite a statistic. Average American recorded by security cameras 238 times a week. And that's probably a low number, at least for New York. Man, you know it's serious when the hardest working man in Jamaica Queens say he ain't going to work, man. Guys like the bond said they have until October to make the budget official for the government, so it won't be a shutdown. He said if they furlough us again, I'm not going to work. The devil gave me nothing the last time. I'm not advocating for that. The next time, searching for that does not exist. You know, the situation is serious. If the hardest working man in Jamaica Queens is not going to work. But, you know, like I was saying, also, you know, this reaction seems high, you know, like, you know, I don't want to speculate, but, you know, it's so many different groups out there. You know what I'm saying? You know, you got, like I said, I don't want to just start rattling off names and then all of a sudden, you know, it's like, you know, I'm kind of like halfway accusing them. Oh, get out of here. Vlad, Vlad is the one reporting on Louisville. You know, I guess this is probably his way of what's the name though. You know, this is a way I think he's trying to show concern for the black community. You know what I'm saying? So then it'll be a kind of thing like, well, Lord Jamal, where was you when I was covering what was going on in Louisville? You know, which would play perfectly into the narrative, uh, you know, narrative that I heard Lord Jamal talking that I didn't agree with. That, you know, we you know, we embrace hate speech when we listen to hip hop or something. So why do we get upset with people with hate speech? So I can't recall what it was. You know what I'm saying? But you know, kind of that kind of thing that, oh well, you know, Black Lives Matter and it's all about this solidarity when it comes to trying to boycott me. But, you know, where's all that Black Lives Matter and the solidarity when, you know, uh, Breonna Taylor's killers didn't get indicted? But yeah, that was a good live. You know, I mean, it was decent. You know, the algorithms, besides the algorithm shutting me down. If you notice, since we changed the subject, we haven't had not one issue with that. We haven't had a single issue once we changed the issue up on it. You know, so other than that, we did pretty good though. You know what I'm saying? Uh, you know, everybody that made it this far, if you didn't already, give it each one, teach one, and hit the like button so I can get more subscribers and 10. And I'm doing a lot of teaching. You know, if you're new to the channel, join. Uh, we already Great Elevation suggested it, so we decided to go with that. You know, when we get to 900 subscribers, we're gonna have another discount on the Random Jewels merchandise. Uh, so if you're new to the channel, join. You know, if you want to be aware of when lives come on, hit the notification button. Have time so Vlad ain't worried unless someone comes to see him. Um, I mean, I think ultimately it's one of them things where, you know, it's the people. You know, that's who really has to boycott it. You know what I'm saying? When people see that, you know, you just here to, you know, make money off the controversy that is the worst parts of the lives of the original people. You know what I'm saying? You know, like you can help kids and do all these things, but you know, if you get, you know, in a fight with a rapper, you know what I'm saying? You know, these people that kind of give you a platform, you know, where, you know, your claim to fame can be, oh, I snatched this rapper's chain. You know, like that's your whole claim to fame. You don't make records, you don't make beats, you don't write rhymes, you don't manage, you got nothing to do with the hip hop world except snatch somebody's chain that is dealing with hip hop. You know what I'm saying? That's what he's there for. You know what I'm saying? And you know, it's that something in general, you know, when we stop being attracted, we can see a lot of times that's why that image is pumped. You know, they pump to us an image of intellectual brothers, you know, that go to the library and study. This movie probably not going to get a whole bunch of black people showing up. You know, this song is not going to get a whole lot of downloads. You know, when we stop responding to, you know, hatred of ourselves and our own degradation, you know, not saying that that's the only reason they're doing it. Not saying that it wouldn't be done, but when we take that economic incentive out, because that's a part of what they want to do. They want to make themselves rich. You know, from our labor, when I say labor, it don't just mean uh, it don't just mean you know, you going to work, you know, your job, you know, the labor market. I'm talking about, you know, going through struggle and pain. You know what I'm saying? They make themselves rich from our struggle and pain. I mean, we'll have to see. You know what I'm saying? But you know, at the end of the day, uh, you know, at the end of the day, I think that's what counts. You know what I'm saying? You know, if whoever is his corporate sponsors or whatever, you know, whatever networks he's a part of, whatever he's doing, you know, if it comes to the point that they making less money, that you know that's something that you know, like I said in the beginning of the live, you know, I think that's what's the most important thing about it. You know what I'm saying? Is that people, you know, original people start seeing that, you know, you can't be friends with everybody. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's not your friend. You know what I'm saying? You know, Biden's not your friend. Uh, you know, Trump's not your friend. You know, Hillary's not your friend. You know, these are people that throw you a bone, you know, uh, because they need protection or whatever, but they not your friend. You understand what I'm saying? It's just one of them situations where look, you know, we God, don't be DOG. See, it said, you know, dog is a man's best friend, but he's still a dog, and he still gets treated like a dog. Other than that, make sure you check out Sunya tomorrow on Sunya at 7. Like I said, I'll be back on Friday with another installment of Darkim Live. Um, so in the meantime and in between time, I'm gonna say peace. I guess everybody gotta go back to the beginning and check out what really is like the middle. If you start at like maybe 30 minutes into the live, you get to the topic of the live that we was dealing with, understanding build, showing improvement versus trying to justify. And in the meantime, in between time, I'm gonna say peace to the guys in the earths. All the people that's doing the knowledge on the scientific background. And I'll see y'all on Friday. Peace.